In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 ways that your belief system is blocking the law of attraction from working, and I believe this video can allow you to go so much deeper into creating your own reality from a whole new paradigm. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, we're going to go a little bit deeper than the way that we would normally go of understanding the LOA or understanding how we achieve what we want in our life. And this has to do with getting down to the roots of the way reality works. You see, when we go around individually, we believe that there's a certain built-in way that reality simply is. We believe and are socially conditioned to believe that things just are the way they are and things happen to us. Now, the truth is, when it comes to this whole understanding of the way reality works, it seems complicated, but it is actually very simple. Now, let me first off say that when it comes to belief systems, this is what really creates our own reality. This goes deeper than just the law of attraction. This goes deeper than just the focus, because many times people will want and have intentions to experience something in their life, but if they believe they don't deserve it, if they believe it's not possible, if they don't believe in themselves, then many times it just simply won't happen because there's some block there. So somebody may say, I want a Lamborghini, I want this nice house, I want this kind of person, but if they don't think they're worthy to have that, if they haven't aligned their belief system to the version of them that experiences that, then they constantly will experience the blocks in accordance to it. So this goes so much deeper than just the surface level. This is what I think is one of the most powerful concepts that when we begin to learn how to do this, it changes everything. Because literally what the world is that we experience it is a reflection of what we believe to be true. And in the same way, we know that we don't go over to a mirror and wait for the reflection to change, saying, I will change my internal state of being once the reflection changes. We know that we must first change our internal state of being, and we must first change what we believe to be true to then experience a new reflection. In the same way, that's how it works in our life. Everything we experience in our life is a reflection of what we believe to be true. And the key is to align this and to understand it, because when you become aware of what you do believe to be true, you start to gain your power back. Now here's the thing that happens in society. People believe they simply don't have power. People believe they are at the whims of societal conditioning. They believe they're at the whims of society in general, of circumstances and of things happening to them, not aware that if they simply shifted from the reaction mode into being engaged with life, present to the moment, being able to be aware of their own ego, that then they experience a transformation of consciousness. This is how it really is, a transformation of consciousness, when you go from the reaction to the environment to saying, okay, I'm going to go in this direction. Not only that, I'm going to be aware of the beliefs I have about life. Not only that, I'm going to be aware of the beliefs I have about relationships, the beliefs I have about money, the beliefs I have about this kind of situation. And the more we become aware of all of this, the more we start to transform the way we relate to the world. Now, normally what we think is that there's a certain reality that we all experience, but that is actually not the case. At a deeper level consciousness point of view, every single thing you experience in your life is an extension of your own consciousness. This gets a little bit deep. And it's true. Everything we experience in our life is a reflection of what we believe to be true, and it's an extension of our own consciousness. So when I go out and I see, quote unquote, other people from the deepest level of consciousness, those other people are other versions of me, of my own consciousness. You see, at a deeper fundamental level, you are what people call, or what you could call, source energy. You are an immortal spiritual being living a temporary human experience. At a higher level consciousness point of view, we have all decided to have the life experience that we're having on earth, because at a higher dimensional point of view, we are unconditional love and bliss. Things happen instantaneously. Here, there's time, space, reality. Things are slowed down quite a bit. There's a lot more you can learn when things are slowed down. So that's why we are here. And The best part about it is we can direct our life by taking inventory of our own belief systems. So we think many times there's just one reality. As many people as there are that many different realities, but the paradox is at the same time there is one reality because we are all experiencing the other aspects of ourselves. I appear to be another person in a YouTube video. At a deeper level though, I'm just a reflection of a deeper part of you. And you are a reflection of a deeper part of me because we are all connected. In the same way we have cells inside of our body that make up, that compile up who we are. We are the cells on the planet of the earth. We all connect to each other. And one of the purposes of life is to wake up to more of who we are. And to understand that beliefs themselves are simply a reflection. But if there's certain beliefs that aren't serving you, the key is to let go of the beliefs. You see, sometimes things happen when we're kids. And in a moment we decide, oh, this is the way the world is. This is the way things are. And because we believe that that's the way that things are, we experience more and more of a reflection of that. When that's just what is actually called the number one, the first way that your belief system is blocking the law of attraction from working is you have what is called confirmation bias. Which means that we think something to be true. Therefore we go out and we look around, we see patterns of it that reaffirms that belief, when really all that's happening is we're looking more and more for a certain pattern and we're getting more and more evidence of it. Therefore that's creating a rigid structure within us. So we may believe that, oh, this kind of relationship that I get into with people, they're all like this. That's confirmation bias. You've seen it once or twice before. And because you've seen it once or twice before, there's then this pattern that's developed with it. That pattern then creates more and more experiences of it as time goes on. So this is having that level of awareness and knowing that the more we become aware of what we have confirmation bias with is the more we take our power back. Everything we experience in our life at a certain level is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Meaning that if we're focused on it, if we believe it to be true, then we will always experience more of it. Now the thing about self-fulfilling prophecies is that they change from person to person to person. We all have different levels as to what that is. We all have different levels as to what we believe to be true and what kind of patterns we look for. You could have two people in the same room, someone talking about something about the service at a restaurant, and somebody else could be having a totally different circumstance, not only because of their focus, but because of their belief systems. So this is about being aware of what we have confirmation bias towards and how we just continue to experience more and more of it, because that will control the certain patterns of our life. And when we start to take our power back, we can realize and take inventory of whatever that is. Now the second way that our beliefs are blocking that law of attraction from working is simply from the stories that we tell ourselves. Stories are powerful. It's one of the reasons we love watching movies. We watch a lot of movies because stories have a way of teaching us, of showing us things. But in the same way, we have stories in our life that we're unaware of in so many different ways. Think about it. There are stories around you in relationships. There's stories around how you relate to money. There's stories around how you relate to other people. There's stories around you doing what you're passionate about, why you can't do what you're passionate about. There's stories and excuses around everything, and all those is an accumulation of patterns that continue to perpetuate themselves over and over and over again. Now here is the truth about reality in general. You are not the result of your past. Past experiences do not have to define who you are. You are who you choose to be in the present moment right now. You may have a story about something that happened in the past, and as long as you keep that story alive, as long as you want to tell everyone about your stories, about the way reality works, the more you keep that running in your life. When if you simply let it go and saw it simply what it is, it was one situation, it was one circumstance, you would then transform your life. But many times what happens is we have these stories and they're so fun to talk about. We go into our job and we could tell everyone else about what happened yesterday and all of these things which continue to perpetuate the same thing over and over again. I was talking about this with my buddy yesterday because we went out to lunch. We go to this place that we go to lunch almost every day together, and there's this lady there, She always looks like she has a bad look on her face, like she's having a bad day, always. And anytime she's the teller ringing us up for our food, it's almost like she has an attitude. Well, we almost developed a story about this, like, why is she always like that? Even when we're trying to be nice to her, she's kind of like, okay, she's like very short, right? But I told him, I said, what's funny is that may just be a story that we have in our mind about how she is. Therefore, every time we come in, she's always in that mood. But I said, what if we changed our story and we went in tomorrow, and instead, when we went in, we had a new story. We saw her in a different way. Maybe then we'd catch her on a good day. Or maybe reality in of itself is a reflection of what we believe to be true, and we would then perceive and we wouldn't interpret reality as her being that way. So you see, it's a funny paradox, it's a funny way the way it works, but we align ourselves to situations that are constantly reaffirming that which we believe to be true, and also that which is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, the third way beliefs block the law of attraction from working is through understanding the rules we have for ourselves. The rules we have for what it means to be happy. Now, understand that everything in our life that we experience, what we experience in our life, we will also get a reflection of our state of being. So, because of that, whatever state of being we're in, we see a reflection in life. So if we're feeling really good and we go out, we'll find other reasons to feel good. If we feel really bad, we'll go out. And even if good things happen, we'll find reasons to feel bad, because of the way our state of being works. Now, we all have rules as to what it takes for us to feel a certain way. X, Y, or Z has to happen. This person has to say this. If this person says this, then I can't be happy. These rules are illusions, but nonetheless, these rules are controlling our state. When they control our state, they also control the beliefs that we have in the moment. They control the stories that we pull out of our own minds. So this is about being aware of the rules that we have. If you give yourself a lower barrier to entry for what it takes for you to be happy, then you will start to take your power back. Now, that may sound like a bad thing. Why would I lower the bar? Lower the bar for what it takes you to be happy, because the more you increase your state of being, the better reality you're going to experience. The more you'll experience more of what you want. But you see, you first have to become aware of the rules that you have. So I set myself rules of, I get up every day, I'm doing what I love, I'm happy. But if I set myself the rules, I got to get up every day, I got to do X, Y, Z, and do like 300 different things, then if I didn't do one of those things, then I wouldn't be happy. So think about that. Think about if there was a joke right now, and there was some type of joke, and sometimes it could be the stupidest little joke that makes people laugh, the way someone says something, then that could be funny. But if someone's like, no, the joke has to have a very paradoxical punchline that's very witty and humorous, and it must be said in a certain tonality that I think is funny, and all of these different rules, the more rules we have, the less funny the joke will be, because the more filters it has to run through. When instead you could just make a dumb little noise and then feel happy because you've given yourself a low barrier to entry. You simply act like a child and feel in that state of being, you see? So lower the level of rules that you have to be happy, and you'll find that then you feel better about the whole situation, or just life in general. As you increase your state of being, you will see whatever is equal to that state, and that's when things will begin to change in a very powerful way. Now, all the three things I just shared with you, understand this. When it comes to the level of consciousness, when it comes to understanding the way reality works, we can create our reality from the levels of consciousness of what is called the 400 range. 400 is reasoning. This is when we become aware of our beliefs, we let go of what doesn't serve, and we start to create in a powerful way. Most people are attracting things to themselves into the 300s and below, which means the lower emotional states of consciousness. The real goal of people shouldn't be to attract what they want, because that's just the surface level. It more so, I believe, should be to transcend their level of consciousness. Because when you transcend your level of consciousness, your vibration raises, and then you attract those things easier than ever, because you're coming at it from a higher frequency. And the funny thing is you may find that your goals change because you change at your fundamental core. Now you'll see 400 and below. 400 is intellectual and it is reasoning. It's using the mind. When we move from 400 to 500, that's where transformation happens. That's when we realize we don't need beliefs. That's when we realize that beliefs are actually paradoxical, because we don't have to pile on a new belief. We can actually let go of everything we got to be true, and instead we can just be present to the moment. We can allow the moment to be. And that's when eventually we get closer to edging into enlightenment. However, that has to do with letting go, surrender to the present moment, being. Rather than thinking and doing of the lower, lesser paradigms, it's about being authentic to who you are, being in that state of consciousness. That's when we shift our level of consciousness. Now, I'm creating a course right now that is called the Shift Experience with Doughty. It's going to be something that's turned into seminars. It's going to be what I travel the world and give events on. It's also going to be a step-by-step practical course showing people exactly how to shift their level of consciousness from that of reaction, being in the hypnosis of social conditioning, and waking up to engaging and then transcending the lower vibrational emotions into a new level of consciousness, a new level of being. And technically, and the intention is that on that scale of consciousness, we move from the average of where most people are on the planet, which is 300 or below, moving up to that of 400 and even 500. That's the shift, making the shift in consciousness. And that's what I'm building right now. It's something I'm very excited about. If you would like to receive updates on that, I'll eventually be coming out with meditations and stuff as samples to show you what it's all about. There'll be meditations that help people shift through their level of consciousness. It's going to be something that I make as well. In the top of the description box below, you can sign up to receive updates on that. I think it's going to be the best, for sure it's going to be the best program I've ever made, but I really believe it's going to be something that transforms people's lives in a very powerful way. And it'll help you to make the shift in consciousness from where you are to where you want to be by getting to the core of who you are, to stop trying, to stop having to do or be or have, and then move into being, the authentic part of who you are. So, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, hit the little notification gear next to the subscribe button so that you can see the daily vids that I do. And other than that, as always, peace, much love, and namaste.